Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? It is your host Ballistic, and I'm back, and I hope everybody had a happy holidays and a great happy new year. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be telling you guys what I'm doing with my channel. I don't know if you guys follow my Twitter. I know some of you don't because I only have 25 followers, but the thing is, I'm going to be switching my channel over to Fortnite temporarily because I'm just kind of losing interest in Call of Duty right now. It's kind of getting boring to cover and just play in general. I'm not really too stoked when I'm playing it. Fortnite, I've been playing since it came out. I've never really lost interest in it at all, and I think it's a great game, and Epic Games is really going in the right direction with it. So kudos to them, and they're doing a great job, and I really do hope they keep doing so. So what this video is going to be about is I'm going to be telling you guys my tips on how to earn more wins in Fortnite Battle Royale. Now, there are 4 things that I think are crucial towards this game and being able to win. And it all depends on what game mode you're playing. So I'm going to be basing this off of duos or squads. Solos, it's really you're just on your own. And the thing is, when you're on your own, all the loot's yours and so forth. Everything you do, it's all based off of you. So you don't have anything else to worry about. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be talking about duos and squads, just because when you play these other things, there's more things that you need to worry about, like other people, making sure they have enough ammo, so forth. So I'm going to be telling you guys what personally my buddy and I do to make sure that we do win the game. So now let's go right into my first tip. And my first tip is location. Your jump location, it may seem like it's not that important, but it is. The only time it's not important is if you're a god player like Grimm's or Dakota's or Alex Rami Gaming or something like that. They jump and they just go off and it doesn't really matter, but majority of us are not like that, unfortunately. So we do have to rely on where we land. So where my buddy and I always land no matter what is Salty Springs. There's a far blue house and a little tiny house across the street from it. I go in the little tiny house, he goes in the blue house. So the nice thing is he lands on the roof, so if I don't get any loot in my house, just because obviously it's a very small house, there may not be a chest, and if I go in there, I can get his bottom floor, and if he doesn't get any weapons, he can get the top floor also. So we kind of split up the loot, which is very important when you're playing this game. So splitting up the loot and landing in the certain area is very important. Some other good areas to land, I could say Lonely Lodge. The only problem with Lonely Lodge is typically you're not in the circle if you do land there when it first starts, so it's a long haul typically, but you do get some very good loot there typically, so I really do recommend going there. Try to stay away from these big name places like Greasy Grove or Pleasant Park. I've never been there one time where my squads actually survived and just got out of there, just because so many people go there that it's just not worth it. There's so many chances of you getting in a gunfight. Salty Springs, I think, is personally the best. My buddy and I have had many times where we didn't even see anyone and we got the whole entire thing all to ourselves. So it all just depends on where you land in the beginning. Now I want to go into my next tip, and that is loot. Now, obviously, like I said before, if you're some god at Fortnite, you don't really need good loot. You really don't, but majority of us, like I said before, unfortunately aren't. So loot is very important, especially when you first start out the game, because if you do not get any loot, you're most likely not going to survive. So I really do recommend going, if you can't find any loot at all and there's people in your area that have loot, don't keep running around that area. If you're fully aware there are other people, go somewhere else, run away, because that's your best bet at surviving. And it's not really worth trying to kill those people with a pickaxe and losing all your health, and then maybe you have a buddy who goes down and now you have a pickaxe you're trying to get. It doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. So you've got to just find a new place to go. There's always loot somewhere in Fortnite. You can always find loot. So anywhere you go, you're most likely to find loot. So everything is fine once you get a weapon. Once you get a weapon that you think is good enough to take down other people and you know your skill, then I would say it's alright. I now want to go into the type of player you are. There are 2 types of players. There are conservative players and there are very aggressive players. Personally, my friend and I are very aggressive. If we hear one gunshot, we are going right towards them with shotguns We do not care. We basically just have an ego and think that we can defeat anyone when in reality we really can't. That's the thing. But I want to talk about how you play. So there's a conservative player. If you don't know what conservative means, it's someone that's going to sit back, kind of hide, wait to pick people off, wait for the people to come to them. Then there's the aggressive player that just goes straight out right towards a gunfight and doesn't care and just goes in just to get kills and loot. So I'm aggressive, my buddy's aggressive, so that works out. Now the thing is, you really can't have two of the opposite people. You can't have someone that's aggressive and someone that's conservative, because another thing that is key in Fortnite is sticking together, unless you're some god. But like I said before, we unfortunately aren't, and you need to stick together. If you get separated, the problem is if one of you goes down, then someone has to run all the way over there. By the time they already do that, the person's going to be executed because they're going to be looking around for their partner and being like, okay, well, he's not showing up, let's just execute the kid for his loot. So you really need to stick together. Plus, obviously, two people in a gunfight is definitely better than one. So sticking together is absolutely crucial. So you can't have two opposite players, because the thing is, if someone's conservative and someone likes to rush, that person's going to straight up rush, and that person that's conservative is going to be sitting back, who knows doing what, maybe hiding, and that other person's just going to go on and take maybe on a squad or something like that. So you really do need to stick together. Sticking together is very important, and it's so important because you have to complement one another. If you can't complement one another, you're not going to win a Fortnite game, and that's the thing. So that's my other thing about sticking together and the type of player you are. Next, I want to go into placement. Now, I would say placement is maybe the most important thing in all of Fortnite. Placement is key. Placement is what brings you the gold medal. It 100% does, and that's the thing. You need to be able to know where to go. So when there's a circle, the zone, or whatever you want to call it, if there's a mountain, go on that mountain. Just go right to the top of the mountain, and if you can, shoot out your stairs so someone has to build up, and just build a base right up there. Because when you build a base right up there and you hear building, you know someone's coming up and trying to get you, so you can already be ready for them. So that's one thing that's very important about placement. Another thing, I see people do it all the time. They hide behind trees and heal up. The problem is with that, the amount of kids I've sniped because they sit still and try to heal up, you really need to know placement. You need to know that you can't just sit out in the open. Another thing that is extremely important in Fortnite is moving at all times. If you're not moving at all times, you are like a duck in the water, just waiting to get picked off. So even if you're in your base, always be moving. Don't just stand still and try to snipe someone. Even if you're trying to snipe someone and they don't see you, walk side to side. Because if someone else is aiming at you and you're standing still, it is so easy to line up a headshot. It's just not worth it. Like, it's not worth to stand still and take that bullet. So I really do recommend moving at all times, and do not sit still while you're healing. Obviously you need to, because you're going to stop healing, but build around yourself. Make sure no one can get to you. Make sure no one can hurt you while you're healing up. And at the end, just knock out a wall and run out of whatever you built. So that's very important. Another important thing I would say is building. So many people, I see this all the time, and I think what makes a very bad Fortnite player is not knowing how to build. Building's very important. If you can build a quick base, that is absolutely phenomenal. If you can build a quick 4x4 base or whatever, just a tiny one square base, whatever you call it, I don't know. If you can build one of them in like 2 seconds, that's absolutely amazing, because they're very important. Unfortunately, Xbox and PS4 players have it a little bit more difficult because building is not as easy and not as quick. PC players, you can just use your mouse, just slide it, and just keep clicking, and it goes right around. It just flies around. So you can build a lot faster than we can. So you guys are kind of fortunate, but for us, it's a little bit slower. So building is very important. Another thing is, people will go against rocket launchers, and when it comes to building, a lot of people don't know it, but if you just throw a wall right down in front of you, like, you just press whatever button it is and just place a wood wall right where the rocket's gonna hit. It's not gonna hurt you. It's gonna break the wall. That's it. So you can easily block rockets just by throwing up walls. Another thing that's important is when you're getting shot in different angles and you're trying to shoot someone else. Just say you're in your base and you have someone shooting you from east, and then you have someone shooting you from west. You're focusing on the people from the west, but people are shooting you from the east. That's when you need to decide to throw up a wall where the people are shooting you from the east, and someone needs to keep watching that wall to make sure it doesn't keep breaking, so you have to keep repairing it. If you can just learn to build and complement one another, you are most likely going to win the game. Building is very crucial. And another thing I need to say is get materials. I see this happen so many times where people just go for loot and don't care. I've seen people leave materials after they loot someone, and I don't understand that. Materials are so crucial. If you can find metal or brick, that's absolutely amazing. And wood's great just because it's not a good material. So you can just build up something and not really have to worry about your materials, just because wood's not that important and it's very easy to get. So wood's not that great also, obviously, because it breaks very fast. It's just not worth placing. It's just good for blocking rockets, really, and building stairs. That's it. So brick and metal are absolutely amazing, and if you can get those materials early on, you are absolutely set, because it takes a lot more to break a brick or metal wall. So if you can find those materials and just rack them up, it's very important. I recommend never leaving materials at all, because they are so important. They're absolutely crucial. Okay, so that's all that I'm gonna do for this video. I really do hope you guys enjoyed the video. I kind of put a lot of work into this one. Be sure to smack the like button. That really helps me, gets my channel out there. Subscribe if you want to see more awesome Fortnite Battle Royale content. I will be bringing out Fortnite news on this channel. It will be the only channel I know of doing Fortnite news, and you guys can be the first to get some updates on what's going on in the Fortnite Battle Royale world. And be sure to leave a comment. Say anything you want, I don't really care. If it's constructive, great. If it's just stupid, great. I don't care, it's up to you guys. If you have any questions though about how I explain something and you're a little unsure, be sure to leave it down in the comments below. I get push notifications on my phone. I can guarantee you within 5 to 20 minutes, you'll get a response. So be sure to do that, and if you just have any questions in general, anything, just be sure to leave them in the comments down below. I will be sure to reply, as long as it's something that's not stupid, like someone just comments hi or something like that. But as always, this has been your host, Ballistic, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.